Alright, first and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakodash, double honors unto the apostles and the elders of great mills who naturally do well. Peace and blessings goes out to the brethren, you know, that come through the four corners of this world. I push this word in all sincerity. I'm going to the legends, is your brother Matina here once again from one of the great millstone camps in Trinidad. Gonna do a quick lesson here to edify, to exhort the Lord's flock. I'm gonna start with this precept here. Proverbs 2 and verse 10. It says, when wisdom entereth into thine heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul, discretion shall preserve thee, understanding shall keep thee, to deliver thee from the way of the evil man, from the man that speaketh forward things. Now that is when wisdom enter into your heart, and when the truth, this word, this gospel that the Lord gave us through His Holy Spirit, is pleasant unto your soul. Seek after the Lord, you desire the knowledge of the Lord. He said, then discretion gonna preserve you, because they're gonna learn discretion and understanding, gonna keep you, because they're gonna be in the Lord, gonna bless you with it, through the precepts, through the laws, through the statutes, commandments, to deliver thee from the way of the evil man, from the man that speaketh forward things. And I'm gonna play this video here to show an instance or an occasion where, if he knew the scriptures, if he understood their role, there as in Esau's or Edom, their role in this world, he would have been alive today. And I could take the angle, this video could go in the angle of, showing how, wicked Esau are, but I mean, a lot of us don't know who he is and the reason he was created and what gonna be his latter end. So, gonna take the angle of showing you how to prevent things like this happening, or when something like this happen, how to deal with situation. The scriptures give us instruction on how to deal with these things. Yahushua specifically. I'm gonna play the video. By the way, that's let me explain. Let's get context to the video. It's another case of police brutality, or not police brutality, but police killing. Where you saw a Jake, so-called black man, and the usual narrative of the scared for the life and he had a gun, and basically they shot him and kill him.
Show me your hands, buddy. Okay, show me your hands. Show me your hands. Show me your hands. Step out of the car. For what? Do not move. Get out of the car. Do not move. For what?
You see, hey, you see how wicked this man is. two completely contrary instructions, opposite instructions. They're giving this man, get out of the car, don't move. Get out of the car, don't move. Which will be quite confusing if you if you're in that situation. You might be a little anxious, you might be a little scared, so you might be fidgety a little bit because they're confusing you with the instruction. But look how what happened next.
Do not move. For what? Show me put your hands on the dashboard right now.
It's under desk. Get up now.
Do not reach for it.
Ain't nothing under my ass. Hands up right now. Ain't nothing under my ass. Get your hands up right now. Do you understand that? I'm gonna fucking grab the roof right now. Grab the roof right now. I'm gonna end up shooting you. You see a gun? Shoot me. Yeah, he's reaching for something. Look.
You see, he play ignorant. You say, shoot him if you want. You could go ahead and shoot him. But all Jake had to do there was just comply, put your hands on the steering wheel, you know, put your hands on the roof as I said, and the extra the extra commotion would have been avoided. The chaos that happened after could have been avoided.
Stop. None of my ain't none of my undo his seatbelt. No,
Do not pull away.
quit touching me. Quit touching me.
Stop.
You see, and this is their role in this kingdom. As the elders and the apostles always say, you weren't sent on this side to be celebs, to be, living in glamour and glory and splendor, and to be living the most prosperous life. You were sent here to be punished for our sins. At the hands of who? At the hands of Esau. You see if I believe that is Psalms. That's 17 or 19. 17 and 13. It says, Psalm 17 and 13, it says, Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. According to Malachi 1, verse 3 and 4, you know the wicked to be Esau, Edom. According to Job 9 and verse 24 as well, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. If not, who is he? You know that the wicked is Esau, Edom. From men which are thy hand, O Yahweh, from men of the world. Hand in what case? Hand as in his hand to do cruelty, to do evil, to bring judgment upon the land. Which have their portion in this life, which is who now? The so-called white man, who is in fact Esau, Edom, not not the Arabs, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure. When you look at the elites of this world, who make up the elites? Which families make up the elites? The families of Edomites. Different Edomite families make up the elites of this world. So they have their portion in this life. Psalmist said, whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure. They are full of churn, and they leave the rest of their substance to their babes. That's why if it passed down inheritances, the kids by the time of 27, 30, they're in charge of companies with billions, millions, if not billions, sometimes even trillions. So this is speaking about Esau and the Lord. Here the Lord is being asked to cast them down, to deliver our soul from the so-called white man, which is his sword. And in this case here, he was used.
Quit touching me. Stop.
He was used as the Lord's sword. But I'm gonna get this precept. Let's see. Before I bring that, I'm gonna read this one. Matthew 10 and verse 16. It says, Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. And if he was to be wise, he wouldn't present himself to be an adversary to the cops, or a hurdle to the cops. That's comply. You comply here without to say, step out the vehicle, let them search the vehicle, there's nothing on here, cool. Alright, go away. That is what I do. I don't give them any opposition. I say fuck them and I go on. But in the face, you get them the respect. They had their jobs to do. Always had, you know, kiss ass job. They had their jobs to do. You ask a question, you answer as respectful, as possible. And you basically are trying to get rid of them as fast as possible with as little confrontation as possible. You don't need to, hey, yo, this house nigga and you sell out and that's not necessary. You're not going to change them from who they are, and they're not going to, get you any further into achieve you anything. All it may do is make you end up in a jailhouse. But so the Lord said, what? To be wise as serpents, a serpent but act friendly until he could, strike. That is how a serpent does act. It does behave. That is the nature of a serpent. They would slither around. Making you believe one thing when actually their intent is another. So, we hate, I won't say hate, but, we don't dislike their rules and some of them. But we don't have to show that. You don't have to show that. You could basically, scripture say, deceive them. Yeah, cop, you doing your job thing, and as soon as they go on, say they put curses or whatever upon them. That is what being wise as a serpent is. Not being a serpent amongst the brotherhood. The brothers are two-faced and deceitful and hypocritical. But in this world, you have to be as a serpent, you have to be the Clark Kent. You're not going out there and most super duper Israelites. Like how I see that try to, display themselves to be the most God-fearing, most law-keeping Israelites that there are. But in reality, that they're far from it. But I'm going to get this next precept. Matthew 5:25. It says, I agreed with thine adversary quickly. Wise thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. See? And in modern times, as you saw in that video I played earlier, it's two possibilities. You can go into prison or you can end up dead. You understand? You can either go into prison or you can end up dead like that man who didn't have the wisdom to guide him. They said, agree with thine adversary quickly while thou art in the way with him. And these cops are our adversary because they are doing Esau's job. They are working for Esau. They're doing the bidding of Esau. Esau is our adversary, so guess what? They are our adversary as well. So you agree with them. So less at any time the adversary deliver it to the judge, and when they lock you up on a charge or whatever charge you wanna care, you're resisting aggressive, use obscene language against them, this, that. Whatever the case, cut it as lie a lot as well. That's agree with them, officer. I know you how to do your job, search where you have to search, and you going on your way. Let me read it across here and see what it says. NLT, it says, when you are on the way to court with your adversary, settle your differences quickly. Otherwise, your accuser may hand you over to the judge, who will hand you over to an officer, and you'll be thrown into prison. So, though escalate into something that can be totally avoidable. And that was totally avoidable. As I said before, they had the wisdom to guide him. So you're not dead. Read this piece up here, Titus. It said, put them in mind. Titus 3 verse 1 says, put them in mind to be subject to principalities and powers, to obey magistrate, to be ready to every good work. In NLT it says, remind the believers to submit to the government and its officers. They should be obedient, always ready to do what is good. I don't mean to submit to the government. I don't mean that you're gonna take a tag in your right hand, or to do whatsoever they say. If what they say is contrary to, if when that time reach, and what they say is contrary to what we believe, then fuck them and what they say. But for now, as long as what they say is not going against your belief, then guess what? Let's comply. They are the upper hand. They are the ones that the Lord as I'm gonna get here, that the Lord put in charge. So you're resisting them, basically you're resisting the Lord. It says in Romans 13:1, it says, let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. Whosoever therefore resisted the power, resisted the ordinance of God, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. See? It says everyone must submit to governing authorities, for all authority comes from the Most High, and those in possession of authority have been placed there by God. And another reason you have to submit to them too is because you're still under the curses. You're still serving punishment. So not because you know that you're an Israelite, alright, the Lord bless you with that knowledge, and you're serving the Lord, that means that you don't some of the curses, he's a king now. No, the Lord didn't make us a king yet. The Lord didn't make us the governing body of this world yet. So guess what? While we at it, we have to be subject unto whosoever the Most High put above us. And for right now, till we get presented with them crowns, if we are part of the elect, that's gonna be Esau. It says, verse 2, so anyone who rebels against authority is rebelling against what the Most High has instituted, and they will be punished, just as that kind of video was punished. It says, for the authority do not strike fear in people who are doing right, but in those who are doing wrong. Would you like to live without fear of the authorities? Do what is right, and they will honor you. That's why the Apostle Paul said, let none of us suffer as a murderer, as a thief, drunkard, so that we wouldn't have to cross paths with these people. As long as you follow the script, they wouldn't have to cross paths. I mean, they are our adversaries by nature. So guess what? They're gonna somehow form a case against us. But guess what? That case against us shouldn't be something that we brought upon ourselves. It says the authorities are God's servants sent for your good, but if you are doing wrong, of course you should be afraid, for they have the power to punish you. They are God's servants sent for the very purpose of punishing those who do what is wrong. And that is why you would see that guy there being killed, because he obviously is not doing the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. He obviously is not blessed with the wisdom and the understanding of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So you be living in a that sinful man, and the Lord have them as an Esau Edom as his hand to punish the wicked of his people. And even they themselves gonna have to pay for that as well, because it's a double-edged sword. You can't really touch the Lord's chosen people, the anointed of the Lord. But main message, this precept here, Matthew 5 and verse 25, we're gonna read it again and then close with that. It says, agree with the adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge delivered it to the officer, and they'll be cast into prison. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Yahukakodash, double unto the apostles and healers, agreements, not surely do well. Peace and blessings out to the Akim, surely four corners of this world that continue to push this gospel of sincerity and truth. This is your brother Martin, and I say inshallah.